Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the mind of an Aries moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And you know I gotta sit down, man, so this ain't normal. I'm not gonna be sitting down. I'm gonna be back up, energetic. You know, I'm still just a little fatigued, but for the most part, I'm back, man. And you know, I can't be down for too long. Like I said, man, I just been in the hospital. And when I get sick, I get very, very, very sick, man. It's very sad for the people that be around me and stuff like that. So, you know. But other than that, man, I'm here right now, man. I just want to make a motherfucking couple videos, you know what I'm saying, on my process of getting back 100%, which 100% is a program. But let me see. I'm about to just freestyle some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's kick some shit. What do signs have in common? So, alright, how I'm gonna do this is, depending on what do signs have in common, I'm gonna mix it up because I'm gonna go by. Let's start with the sun. So all the signs that the sun affects the most, that's how I'm gonna talk about it. Then we're gonna go into the moon, Mercury, Venus, this, that, and third. Now, what the signs have in common? Now, the sun. What does the sun rule? The sun rules Leo. Where is the sun exalted? The sun is exalted. Is exalted in Aries. So right here, you know what I'm saying, you have a situation where the sun, what Leo and Aries have in common, besides being fire signs, is they like to be the spotlight. They like to be the center of attention. They like giving off a light. They like being seen for something that's valuable or vitable. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, fire signs deal with energy. So, you know, that's what Leo and Aries have in common when it comes with the sun. And the sun gives off what Sagittarius may not have, which this is not a good or bad thing, because when we talk about Jupiter, we're going to talk about that. But as far as right now, when we just talking about the sun, you know what I'm saying, what the sun gives, so we're going to reword it, rephrase it then. What the sun gives Leo and Aries is energy that wants to lead, or the energy that has the capacity to lead, even if it likes to follow. You know what I'm saying? The sun gives Aries and Leo the necessary vitality it takes to do what it actually wants to do. Now, what Aries or Leo may want to do may not necessarily be something that may benefit them, or may not necessarily be something that detriment them. But if it's something that they want to do, they have all the willpower and room and space to do what they want to do, and they're going to force their way to do it, even if people are placing obstacles in their way to kind of block their sunlight. They always going to find some type of way to get to do what they want to do, whether it's bad or good. Now, the difference between the two is because the sun rules Leo and is exalted in Aries. So in Leo, the sun is at home in Leo. So how you feel when you're at home? Comfortable. Like me right now, I have to sit down. Relaxed. Able to do what you want to do, and not as you please. Now, when that plays out for Leo, see, Leo comes into a situation where it wants to be the spotlight, but in its own kingdom, in its own realm, because the sun feels home when it's in Leo. So say Leo is rising in the sky right now. It's the ascendant that's in the sky. The sun will be most relaxed there, or well, it's really extroverted there. But in the 5th house, if the sun was transit in the 5th house as a whole, the sun loves to be there because it's like at a standstill place. And if you look at the places of the house and look at the diameter of the earth, that would be not too far away, but not too close to the earth where the sun would be placed if it was in the 5th house. And right there, that position right there, the sun is, this is where it loves to be. So it could be itself in the comfort of its own home, and it needs its own kingdom, so it can be surrounded and praised to the creations that is coming about in its own kingdom. So this is why a lot of Leos may be more home orientated or home founded than Aries, because when the sun goes into Aries, it's extroverted, so it's going to a place, not extroverted, but it's exalted. So that means it's leaving home and going to a place it always wants to be. But what happens when you leave home? You get dressed, you get prepared, you get ready to go somewhere you want to go. So that's where it leaves home when it goes into Aries. So Aries make Aries a little more outgoing or out there, or more broad thinking than Leo. Not to say Leos can't be broad thinking. They're broad thinking, but from a standpoint of understanding it for themselves so they can express it. Aries is more thinking and broad thinking of what can it actually do and what can it actually accomplish. So it's not so much of an understanding, it's more of a leap of faith type of thing with Aries. And Leo is more, you got to have an understanding first before you take that step to doing what you feel like is necessary you should do within the kingdom. Now, the sun in exaltation, which is in Aries, gives Aries the extra push to force their own sunlight in order to be seen. See, the difference is Leo can stand in one spot and doesn't necessarily have to do crazy things to be seen, because the sun is already home there. So this is if the sun feel like showing its attributes or not. So this would make Leos a lot more moody than Aries. But before Aries get moody, they would get angry that someone made them moody. So a lot of Aries, introverted Aries, get mad at themselves, and a lot of extroverted Aries get mad at the opposer for making them get to that state that they didn't want to be in. Because that's like the sun when it's going to a place that it always wants to be and it's leaving home. That's like you going somewhere and you don't want somebody to spoil your trip. So whether you introverted or extroverted, that's how you're going to take it. You know? And that's what Leo and Aries have in common. Now, on the flip side, when we're dealing with the sun, it also affects Libra and Aquarius, because it's away in Aquarius and it falls in Libra. So when I say away, I like to make the analogy saying that it's at work. And when it's sleep, I mean when a planet is falling, I like to make the analogy saying that it's sleep. So you can build on what you do when you sleep and what you do when you at work, and build on the analogy of that. Just like when it's at home, it's home, and when it's debilitated, it's away. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I say when it's away, it's at work. But when it's exalted, I like to say it's at a place that it always wants to be. So, you know, when we get to Aquarius and Libra, now what do Aquarius and Libra have in common, besides them being an air sign, and what Gemini may not have? And remind you, you look at this again, the two lacking of the sun energy and the lack is of the fire and the air is Sagittarius and Gemini, and they're the polar opposites. So the sextile energy goes a little deeper than just actually being a sextile. Now when we want to talk about Aquarius and Libra and what they have in common, when the sun is at work, it's in Aquarius because it's away. It's debilitated. So, you know, this makes the sun take actions on things that the sun don't normally take actions on. So basically, when it was at home, when you at home, you do what you want to do. You take actions on what you want to do. If you want to wash the dishes, you take that action to wash the dishes. If you don't, you take that action to stay on the couch. At work, which when the sun is in Aquarius, it can't do that, but it has to use the tools it has to get the job done. So everything, when you even get a job, why do you go get a job? To get money, to provide. So a job is something that you feel like you need to do, so you don't necessarily want to do it, but you do what you have to do in order to get the job done. So that's how the sun feel in Aquarius. So instead of the sun being at home, it's getting up and have to put actions on thought. It can't just go completely off inspiration and feeling. It have to put action on thoughts now. And the sun is a fiery, hot planet. So when a fiery, hot planet can't dance and can't look a certain way and can't just express itself, it has to actually think about what others are thinking about, or think about what's actually going on. It becomes stagnant a little bit. So that's just like the sun is at work. What's up, Mom? What you need? Oh, go ahead. So when you just basically, when the sun is in Aquarius, now when we say debilitated and sleep, I don't want you to necessarily feel like that's a bad thing, because you need to sleep every day. You need to have some type of routine every day, which is AKA another form of work. You need to have some form of inspiration every day, which is the sun. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some form of all these type of positions. So I don't want you to think that just because you got a bunch of squares and oppositions is bad, or fallen and debilitated planets is bad. No, this puts you good in other areas. You may lack in other areas and be good in other areas. And others may be good in other areas and lack in other areas. That's just the way things are. So back to talking about the sun being in Aquarius, it's making the sun think about its surrounding. So when the sun is in the 11th house, or in a place like Aquarius, the sign, the sun energy, the vitality, the creativity that it have, the expression that it have, it look towards the surroundings to see others who have it, to seek out others who may have it, or seek out others who may do things differently, or others who may not be quite expressive the way it's expressive. So the Aquarius archetype, the way it would play out as a Aquarius sun sign person, that's how they would look at the world in so many ways. They would look at the world in so many ways that they look at their own creativity and see how they can apply it to the world, or they look to the world and see what's going on in the world and make a conclusion of what's to come. It's like they paying attention to a surrounding, and it's a broad surrounding. And the sun is having to logically understand its expression. So before it can express it, it has to logically understand it. This is why a lot of Aquarius may come off analytical. They may be into science. They may be into a lot of logical stuff, abstract thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Because the sun is trying to, the sun in Aquarius is at work. So it's taking its expression and actually elaborating on it, analyzing it, dictating it, philosophizing it. You know what I'm saying? It's hypothesizing it. You know what I'm saying? Putting these procedures into actions to see if these hypotheses is right. It's dealing more with the mind instead of the action. You know what I'm saying? So it come up with unique ways to express itself. Because the sun, remind you, no matter where the sun at, it still has to express itself. You You know what I'm saying? So in Aquarius, it just comes up with scientific, new logical, new unique ways, original ways to express itself. You know? Now, in Libra, the sun is asleep here. So the sun is resting. The sun it came from work. It expressed itself. It was at home that day in Leo. You know what I'm saying? So it expressed itself the way it wanted to. Then it was in Aries. You know what I'm saying? It was exalted. It went to its maximum expression. It went to its it showed all its talents, all its creativities to the best way it can. You know what I'm saying? Put it out there in order to, you know what I'm saying, get the look that it wanted. You know what I'm saying? And put itself all the way out there, whether it's a good or bad receiving back. It expressed itself to the fullest, and took advantage of what it want to express itself on. See, that's the difference. Leos may not take advantage of opportunities as fast as Aries. The Aries may be a little naive than Leos. Leos may take the practical time to understand if something worth going for or not. See, it's always a gift or curse. Now, with the Aquarius and Libra, now then the sun goes to work in Aquarius. Then it goes back home, but it's tired, and it goes to sleep. You know what I'm saying? It goes to sleep in the car or wherever. It take a nap at. You know what I'm saying? Or take a break. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's at in Libra. So when it's in Libra, when you dreaming of all the things you've done. You dream of ways that you can express yourself if it was in the comfort of your own home. You dream of ways. You dream of being places you always wanted to be, which if the sun was in Aries. You know what I'm saying? Then you get them little flashes of when you at work and shit you was tired of doing, which when the sun was in Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? And you floating through all these. You know what I'm saying? So you may be motivated to express yourself at one time. You may be super motivated to be lazy and procrastinate. This is sun in Libra. You know what I'm saying? You may be, or at times you may be super motivated to put yourself all the way out there and just communicate with others. You know what I'm saying? And then you kind of got a burnout on your own actions, so you like to look towards others' actions to understand what may be the right actions to take. And once you fully understand what right actions you would take, then you righteous, you all for justice. You feel like that's the way to create balance. You feel like that's, if we can come to a certain agreement or relate to each other in some type of way, or you compromise in some type, or have some type of diplomatic situation overall, then we can come to a balance. And that's what Libras represent. And it doesn't have to be too many actions taken to get the job done. You don't have to do so many things to get to a specific goal. See, that's the difference between the air, the sun being in the Aquarius and Libra, and the sun being in Leo and Aries. Because even though the sun may be fallen and debilitated in Aquarius and Libra, but this manifests situations in their life that they don't have to take as many actions, which the sun represents actions, your vitality. So them being in air signs, they think more, so they don't necessarily have to take as many actions to reach a goal. Where the sun being in Leo and Aries may take many actions before they even understand one of the goals that it's trying to reach. And vice versa. That what makes the Leo and Aries out there enough to obtain a goal fast without procrastinating and jumping on something, jumping on the opportunity real fast. And that's what may make the sun in Aquarius and Libra may procrastinate and wait too long for something, or may not jump on an opportunity as fast as they necessarily should have. And that's what the signs have in common when we go with the sun. Next we're gonna go with the moon. Flight boss, bitch.